Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. Happy Saturday. I am taking a leaf out of Wendy's book, Wendy over at Toonpish Crafts. She let you all know in her latest video that she is going to be at Makers Central this year at Birmingham NEC. I think it's running 13th, 14th, 15th, that weekend. It's that weekend of May, and I'm going to be there as well with Wendy at Toonpish Crafts. Like her, I am going as a visitor. I'm going to be going on both days. I'm going up on Friday, coming back on Monday, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to meet everybody. I've already met Wendy. We've already had a good old chat and a cup of tea. But yeah, I'm so excited to meet all the other artists that are going. So if you are heading to Makers Central at the NEC Birmingham this, like, 2 weeks, is it 2 weeks? Oh my gosh, guys, it's about 2 weeks' time. It's about 2 weeks' time. I believe there are still tickets left. Wendy and myself are going to be there on both days. So come and say hello to us. And I literally am buzzing for it. I cannot wait. I'm nervous, but I cannot wait. Anyway, in today's video, I am making some gorgeous steampunk cabochon bezels. And I'm going to be wearing these. I'm going to be wearing these at Makers. I actually love them all so much. I just might have a whole neck of steampunk bezels. Anyway, I hope you absolutely love the video. Enjoy, and yeah, let me know in the comment section if you are going to Makers Central, because we need to grab a cup of tea. So these are the bezels and cabochons that I'm going to be using in this video. You would have seen them recently in an Amazon unboxing, and they are saved below in my Amazon storefronts under a folder called Steampunk. I figured that was the easiest place to save them, and honestly, I love these so much. They are called rotating moon cabochons, and I absolutely love them. Now, even with the glass on their own, they're beautiful. Honestly, don't you think so? Even without creating anything inside, there's no design, there's no nothing in there. They're beautiful just putting the glass in. But of course, we're not going to do that. Most people I've seen use these either use their paint pour skins or resin spill off, or they actually hand paint a design in there and then they put their glass cabochon down on top. Now, I do not have any skins. I don't have any resin skins or paint pour skins, so we're going to create our own designs, and we're going to do exactly what we've been doing in the last few videos to see if it works, and that is to be putting some chameleon powder down inside the actual bezels. We're then going to be using that fabulous glitter from I Love Mixed Media. Her details are down below along with your discount code, and then we're going to just be using our alcohol spray and seeing what we can come up with. Now, technically these are going back a bit into the more of the galaxy themed, but we are going to introduce some steampunk in here as well. I'm actually going to show you a couple of ways that I made these, and I love both, but there's definitely some that are more productive and successful than others. Having never used anything like this before, I was really just using what I had here. I know that everyone uses different tools and different ways to create their designs, so this is what we're doing. We are dropping our powder down into our bezels like you would have seen in previous videos. I'm then giving them a generous spray of the alcohol. This is 99% isopropyl alcohol, and honestly, as soon as I sprayed it, you'll see that all of the powder decided to just go away. It literally got on a bus and it left, and it went into all of the edges of the bezels, so I knew that I had a little bit more work to do here. I think I sprayed it a little bit too close and it became a bit too aggressive, so it practically knocked out all of the powder. So don't do that. Spray from a bit further up and you should be good. Then I added in some more powder into that alcohol and a sprinkle of glitter. Now at this point, yes, it does look messy. It looks like almost like a paste. It's turned into a paste, but I'm very aware that 99% isopropyl alcohol will evaporate soon. It will dry out soon, and when I say soon, I mean within a minute. It dries so fast. Okay, this is like 20 minutes later. I came back upstairs and it's time to put the glass cabochons down. Now here is where it got tricky. A lot of people I've seen use E6000 glue. That's not a glue easily accessible in the UK. It's quite toxic as far as I know. It's not so easy to get. So I generally don't buy E6000 glue because of the reputation. But I've seen people use super glue and or UV resin. Now, I happen to have a little bit of epoxy resin left. This is not ideal. This is not ideal at all. Mostly because you've then got to wait hours for it to actually cure. Now, the one on the left went really well, but you can see the one on the right, I knew it in my head, guys. I knew it. I had too much resin on there. You really just need like a raindrop of resin, a tiny little blob of resin in the center of your bezels in order to place your cabochons down. Now, I was kind of hoping and praying at this point that the resin wouldn't seep out and over. Sadly, next day I realised, yeah, it had, and this was not the ideal way to make it. Now, the one on the right, the blue and the silver, perfection. Absolute perfection. Worked a dream. It still spins, but this one completely wedged. Completely wedged. The resin had seeped out and over, and it had pretty much stopped the actual rotating thing. It had stopped it from rotating. Now, this isn't completely a complete disaster. You don't have to be able to rotate it, but that's the whole point. It's like that kind of tactile, fiddly necklace that you can kind of sit there and spin and almost play with in a therapeutic kind of way. So there's no point really in making it so that we wedge them shut, if that makes any sense. Next up, I'm going to go back in with some more powder. I'm going to go a little bit easier on the alcohol spray and not spray it so aggressively so that I'm knocking the powder completely out. And yeah, I'm really loving the fact that it works with these bezels. My first initial worry was, gosh, I'm spraying all of this alcohol onto metal. Is it going to make the metal go funny? But it really didn't. It worked absolutely fine. And then I'm dropping some more of the glitter down in. On the next one, again, I'm going with the same colours. So this is the gold one that is wedged closed. We're now doing the backs. So we're now doing the other side of those bezels, which is really cool to be able to, you could create the same or you could create completely different. And this is where the steampunk comes in. I looked at all my cogs and I had one that fit perfectly into this bezel. Honestly, as is right now, I love it. I then got a silver one and I put it into the blue and the silver. But here's the thing. If you didn't want to use the glass cabochons to place down on, you could then just fill them up with UV resin. So this is brand new. I just got some. Oh my gosh, I was literally running out. You guys saw that. I invested in a new bottle of the UV resin from Vista. This is their Vista Lumen. Now, my first initial thought was put a blob down in the center of each bezel, place my cabochons down on, and get them under the UV light ASAP, like immediately. Don't mess around, just get it under the UV light. But it became a little bit tricky because this is the back of the bezels. This is the back, which means it's kind of rocking a little bit. We've already got the glass cabochons on the other side, so it was rocking a little bit. I would definitely recommend either resting these in some blue tack or some air dry clay, just resting them on something soft so that they're not kind of rotating left and right. I hope that makes sense. Basically, they weren't level. It was making my life difficult because they weren't level. They were resting on a glass cabochon. So here we are putting down the very first one. And I was like, have I just put too much UV resin in again? Now, the thing to remember on the right-hand side is that it will be resting up. It will be quite proud of the surface. You can look at the mess, guys. Look at the mess. You know, when you try something for the first time, it is so fun to learn, and I'm just glad I can share this all with you. Don't put that much in. Don't put that much UV resin in, or super glue for that matter. As it stands, I didn't have any super glue this day. This is what it is looking like the next day, and it's gone from being unmovable to being completely unmovable. I've really gone in and just wrecked this one. But here's the thing. This is nothing. I can fix this with a craft blade and just carve off all of that spill off resin. So that's the beautiful thing about it. Next up, we're gonna go again. Now we're gonna try a different technique here by painting the bottom of the bezels with black acrylic paint. This is standard, basic, cheap black acrylic paint from your paint store. This is not fancy schmancy. I've got none of that stuff. I thought if I paint the bases of the bezels black on both sides, as you see here, it might make the powders pop a little bit more, because that's kind of what we've been seeing in previous videos where I've dusted it down onto black resin. I don't know, my brain was thinking, would it help? Would it help? I can't even pretend it did. Like, I can't actually tell the difference, if I'm honest. So yeah, same method again. Put your powder in, spray it with the alcohol so that that powder dances. That powder blends, it melds together, it dances around, and we get more of a kind of beautiful effect, if you like. I went in and I added some black glitter. Now, I wasn't altogether happy with the way these were turning out. They were too light and I wanted them grungy. I wanted them dark, moody and grungy. So I just played around until I was kind of happy. Now, I decided the one on the right, I was going to try and just fill with UV resin. The one on the left is going to get a cabochon. The one on the right, I filled with UV resin. But honestly, as soon as I put it under the lamp, I was looking at it like, I don't like it, Claire, get it out of there quick. So I actually took it out from under the UV lamp. I peeled out all of that UV resin. I know, it's terrible, guys, but I really didn't like it. I peeled out the UV resin and I went again. And I put some blue and gold in there with a glass cabochon because I just wasn't happy. I couldn't, you know, when you've got the luxury of this huge glass dome, UV resin wasn't doing it for me. It was not giving me the dome that I wanted. So again, this is the other side of those bezels, and I've gone in again. I have tried this time to leave some black paint visible on these because I thought, what's the point in painting them black when you can't even see? This one here is getting a cog placed down inside. Now, here's the thing. This does, like I said earlier, your glass cabochon will be standing up quite high. It will be quite proud because that metal cog is pretty much the same depth as the actual metal bezel. So the glass cabochon doesn't sit down in, it sits on top. So if you're happy to, you know, have that, then, I mean, I love it personally. I think it just gives you an even bigger, chunkier, yummier kind of pendant. I love these so much. Here you see me putting a smaller, much smaller UV resin blob in the middle. And it really is a case of working fast. I love the way the glass cabochons magnify. It just magnifies. It's literally like putting a magnifying glass down on top, and they went straight under the UV lamp immediately because you really want that set in stone. And look at this, guys. I love them so much. So I've made 4 in total. We've got a couple like this one here, just they swing perfectly, they rotate perfectly. I'm absolutely going to be wearing one of these at Makers Central. I might even just bring a different necklace to wear every hour of the day, but I am obsessed. I absolutely love them. What you put in yours is absolutely down to you. Now the next video, because you guys are amazing, the next video is going to be us making our own silicone mold of these glass cabochons, because in my unboxing video, one of you amazing lovelies suggested, because you do it, to make a silicone mold of the glass cabochons, which means we can create our own cabochons to put in the bezels, right? So that is the next video. If you're still here, we're nearly 14 minutes in. Thank you so much for actually receiving that information. And I will see you on Monday, where we make our very own silicone mold of these glass cabochons. We create our own resin pieces to go down inside the bezels. I'm obsessed with these. I hope you love them as much as I do. Do not forget to hit that like and also hit that subscribe if you have not already. I will see you on Monday for the next video. Bye.